Get that water out of the goddamn huddle. I tell you when you get a fucking water break.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today's September 8th, 2019. First game of the season. Week 1 against 49ers. Sucked. That was horrible. Not
what we were expecting.
Not the outcome we were looking for. But got to keep in mind, it's a long season. This is less than 10% of the total. There's plenty of football to be played.
We have to endure a whole season of this.
We get to see it again in another 4 more days.
Oh my gosh. I'm not ready for that.
That's the good part, is that so far everybody in our division has lost. Panthers lost today. Falcons lost today.
The Saints don't play until tomorrow.
But we needed this win. I mean, this was almost a give-me win. This is probably one of the easiest games we're going to have all year. It was at home. We muffed it up. At least Quan Alexander didn't beat us.
That was bullshit.
It was.
I'm just going to say it.
It was.
Not that he shouldn't have been flagged, but I don't think he should have been ejected.
No,
Flagged, definitely. It's just not the way that, as a fan, I wanted it to go with him. I wanted to legitimately beat him.
Well, I'm glad he wasn't there because they would have beat us. And
yeah, probably.
Maybe. I don't know. His replacement played pretty well. I think he forced 2 fumbles.
Did anyone on their team play bad? I don't know. They were executing on all cylinders, I think. Like, even their secondary, who we thought we could exploit, they weren't that good.
Our receivers didn't look like they were getting separation or nothing. I don't know. And these refs, man, these refs. It's ridiculous.
Okay, but it affected both sides basically evenly. We had 8 penalties for 87 yards, and they had 11 penalties for 87 yards. So it's the exact same yardage. They cancel each other out.
But all penalties aren't equal. Some of the penalties, we had 2 touchdowns called back over some stupid penalties.
Oh, and that intentional grounding.
Oh my God, that one, man, they got to do something about intentional grounding. I don't think I've ever seen a call like that.
Where Drew Brees can throw it in the feet of a lineman when he's in the middle of getting sacked, does not get called. And then Jameis Winston throws it away in the end zone, and that's intentional grounding.
How was that intentional grounding?
Can you just not do that anymore?
Man, that intentional grounding rule is so subjective, and they're so arbitrary with it. I thought the reffing was absolute dog crap.
It absolutely was. But we didn't help ourselves either.
No.
This is just like last year, we surpassed them in yardage. We had 295 yards. They had 256. We averaged 4.5 yards per play, where they averaged 4.3. Our third down efficiency was better. We were 5 for 11 conversions on third down, which again is not great, but they were at 5 for 13. So statistically, we did better. Although Jameis Winston's quarterback rating was absolute dog shit. I think it was 45, 48, somewhere in that area. He had 3 interceptions and a fumble. Did he have a fumble? That was OJ's fumble, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was OJ.
Yeah, if you give a game ball to the winning team, you should give a game jock strap to the losing team or something. It would go to Jameis Winston.
I know.
He played like crap. And, after I watched the All-22, I might change my mind, but he just looked really bad out there. He wasn't under pressure that much.
Not any more than last year, I don't think.
But, man, he was the happy feeting it every chance he got. Looking bad, just making bad decisions, poor throws.
2 pick sixes. 1 is bad enough. 2 is bad.
Yeah, I was really hoping he would get past all that. I was hoping BA and then would work that out of him, but it doesn't look like it.
He looked worse, I thought.
Just making bad decisions. We didn't take hardly any shots down the field.
No, maybe that's part of it.
Our defense looked pretty good, though, relatively.
Yes.
Although their offense isn't the best in the world. Doesn't put fear in the heart of any defensive coordinator.
For as much as we were in that game, it was only because of the defense.
They did some great job of stopping when they needed to.
Absolutely.
Coverage was good. Tackling was good. Kittle he got 8 or 9 catches on us. Did do a good job there. Devin White hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything in the preseason. Didn't do anything in this game.
Well, he was 3rd in tackles.
Yeah.
He had 6.
Whitehead had the most.
Yep, with 8. Levante was in there with 7, and he had a TFL. But if you look at our defense compared to their defense, while we had kind of a comparable number of tackles. We had 56. San Francisco's defense had 59, so not a huge difference. But they had 8 passes defended to our 2.
And they had 3 sacks to our 1.
Yeah, they had 6 quarterback hits to our 1 and 2 touchdowns to our 1. So their defense definitely stepped up to the plate. It is safe to say that for the first time in a long time, our offense definitely lost the game, not the defense.
Offense was the weak link.
Yeah. I would say our receiving core was. Where were they? The run game wasn't doing that bad.
Mike Evans was sick. He was on the sideline throwing up.
Yeah, you could see him barfing.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, it wasn't even like it was a long time into the game.
Then they showed his face in the fourth quarter with a minute or so left or whatever, and his eyes were all red and puffy. It looked like he was not having a good day.
I can't imagine recovering from a bug like that and then having to come back and perform. Like, for me, it takes me like 2 weeks to even recover from anything like that. It's
That's why you're
misery.
Not a professional
I guess
football
so.
player.
And then to play in the heat, I think Jeneline tweeted before the game it was supposed to be 110 heat index down there. We should have had Mike and Devin White and I think Damone Harris go into the opponent's locker room before the game and just lick everything.
That was funny. I was thinking about that. Yeah. That's something Belichick could probably do.
Warfare.
Send sick people to the opposing team's hotel or something.
Like, just get one fan in air quotes. Can you sign some autographs?
Germ warfare.
That Richard Sherman non-call at the end of the game.
What in the world?
There was no way that was not pass interference.
I couldn't believe that, one, it wasn't called on the field, and 2, it wasn't called after replay.
I know. I mean, Mike Evans is turned, has his arms out to look at the ball. Richard Sherman isn't even looking at the ball, and he's all up in Mike Evans' face. And
he's holding his arms down.
That was such a bad...
Yeah, the officiating was really trash.
Yeah.
That's the thing, that we always get these crappy official crews because we're bottom of the barrel in the market. And we lost a game or 2 last year because of the officials.
Yeah, the Dallas game was really bad.
Yeah.
Not why we lost, but...
Well, we hung in there. We were a contender. Yeah, it's funny. We had 2 minutes left, and our offense is going back out on the field. We were down by 6 points at that period. And it was like, Jameis, we've got to go down the field. We got to score. You can't turn the ball over. Immediately turns the ball over.
I had all the confidence in the world that he could do it because how many times last season did we do it?
He threw a touchdown, but it was to the wrong team.
Wrong team. I know. We didn't get blowed out, but to lose 31-17, that's just unacceptable and surprising. And then, so next week we go to Carolina on Thursday. Who do we play week 3?
Giants?
Yeah, okay. I mean, that one's kind of on par with San Francisco, but they beat the shit out of us. So now I'm like, Jesus. And we remember what happened last year with them. It was kind of the same thing. Should have been a gimme game, but was not.
Yeah, we really needed to win this one today. But, again, it's a long season. Plenty of things can happen. Plenty of things will happen. We can definitely come back from this. Not the end of the world. Feels like it right now, though.
It does.
I'm all sad.
Me too. I'm depressed. Need to drink some more beer.
Ain't enough beer in the world. Thomas Smith got beat a lot by that Nick Bosa. Bosa was pretty much working him all game. But, Winston was just had the happy feet too much, and it was more Winston than anything else.
He's just off.
Something was wrong.
I can't put my finger on it, but it was kind of the same thing during the preseason, where he was flighty and not making great decisions. Is this preseason week 5? Like the Bears and the Packers. It's the same thing.
We didn't have, on offense, anybody making plays.
No.
I thought Ronald Jones did a pretty good job when he got a chance in the second half.
He's got some burst to him. He just shoots through that line.
He what?
Pew. Pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, there was a couple times I thought he was going to break one off for a touchdown, but...
Yeah, he doesn't really seem to break tackles. I think he's more of an evader. But as soon as you touch him, he's going to fall on the ground like Doug Martin.
Remember when Doug Martin was like that, and then we bitched about it for like 2 years, and then the third year, you couldn't tackle him for nothing.
Yeah.
Guys were bouncing off of him. It was all them drugs he was doing.
Adderall, in air quotes. What was up with San Francisco going for the 2-point conversion at the end? That one's messed up.
Well, I think their kicker was hurt, but they also needed the 2 points to make it a 2-touchdown game.
Oh, All right. I'll forgive it then. Just kind of felt like they were running up the score.
It's sad when 49ers are running the score up on you. Make them stop.
Let's talk about the bright spots. The defense, maybe.
Defensive line didn't get near as much pressure as I thought they would, but it looked to me like Jimmy G was getting the ball out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they were working the sidelines, man. I mean, they were throwing it in the flat and screen passes and all that. Didn't do a whole lot up the middle. As far as, I would say our secondary played well. We got a lot of pass defenses. We had that beautiful pick six by BH3.
They didn't have that many passes defended.
Yeah, but they had more than they normally do.
They only had 2.
That's more than they did all year, I think, last year. Isn't it funny how we always seem to have teams break records on us? It's like last year, San Francisco didn't get but 2 interceptions all year long, and then they got 3 in this game.
I think they focused on it probably in the offseason. Speaking of records, Jameis broke Vinny Testaverde's for passing yards.
Boo. That's a horrible time to do it.
I know, on this
a performance like that.
Awful game.
So he is now the Tampa Bay's leading passer in yardage.
Yes. He had 194 yards. 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Ugh.
Well, at this rate, he ain't going to get a 6th year with us.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, I'm sure he's going to change throughout the season, but I mean, if it were to stop right now, no, we wouldn't re-sign him. Hell, I was like thinking about third quarter. I was like, man, they need to pull him and put Ryan Griffin in there.
But then don't you create a situation like we had with Ryan Fitzpatrick last year?
Yeah.
I think that's what BA wants to avoid.
Well, I want to win, and Jameis was not getting it done. He was our weakest link out there. That's saying something.
But again, the receivers weren't doing their part either.
Yeah, they weren't getting no separation, and
we had Chris Godwin had 53 yards, 3 receptions. Dare had 4 receptions for 33 yards.
He was our second
highest receiver. O.J. Howard had 4 for 32. Mike Evans had 2 for 28. Maybe that's a huge factor. I mean, Jameis was spreading it around, but
yeah, our running backs caught 7 passes. The highest receiver was O.J. Howard with 4 passes caught. Cameron Brate had 2. Brashard Perriman had 2. Peyton Barber had 2. Ronald Jones had 1. Mike Evans had 2. O.J. Howard had 4. Dare had 4. And Chris Godwin had 3.
So, and then if you look at their targets, Chris Godwin was targeted 6 times. He only brought in 3 of them. Mike Evans was targeted 5 times. He only brought in 2.
Brashard Perriman was targeted 5 times, only brought in 2.
So where are our receivers? Is it Jameis not throwing good passes?
He threw a lot of crappy passes. But I'll look on the film.
Right, it's always different when you go and watch the film and see what happened, where the breakdowns were. It's never what you expect.
Yeah.
We're actually, next podcast, going to have a segment.
Look, we say we're going to do it, so that means we're not going to do it.
Yeah, probably. We're going to say where we were wrong. So we're doing our initial reaction.
Yeah,
then Ralph is going to correct our initial take on the game. And you always we're always very down and out when it happens, and then you watch the film and you're like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was this, this, and this. That's how we stay positive through the season. And I'm just going to warn everybody that November, no matter what our record, we're still going to be talking playoffs. So if you're not in for that, you should just quit now.
We're going to the Super Bowl, baby.
I really thought we'd be doing a victory
I did too.
podcast.
I did too.
That's probably what makes it harder, is that you expect a win and then you don't get it.
I definitely expected a win here. Very confident about it. I thought that when we were down, we missed the 4th down for the touchdown, and we had them backed up. They got the ball on downs. They were only ahead by 6 at that point, and I think it was 6, yeah. And we ended up turning the ball over on downs, but it was right at the goal line. I thought right then, I was like, oh, we've got this. They're going to move out a little bit, maybe get up to the 20 or something like that, and then punt it. We'll have good field position. We'll move it down the field, score a touchdown. They won't have enough time to come back. Unfortunately, that's not how it went. And that's when I started going, oh, crap, we might lose this.
It's just so strange because in Dirk Cutter's offense, moving down the field was not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem were the turnovers.
Right. Well, they were a problem today, too, but we weren't able to move down the field as easy as we have been the past few years. Don't know how much of that was Mike Evans or missing little dude. What was his name? The slot?
Scotty Miller?
From last year.
Oh, Adam Humphries.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, but then he still had Cam Brate who caught 2 touchdowns that didn't count because of bullshit penalties.
Tamar Dotson.
The offensive line didn't look that bad. Donovan Smith is kind of a liability, but we're used to that.
Yeah, he didn't play any worse than he normally does.
Right.
And everybody else held up pretty well from what I could tell. You know, you won't be able to see it until you get to all 22, but we didn't have any guys coming in free on Jameis right away, right up the middle. He was getting 2. He did it on the first or second play. He went back. It looked like a 7-step drop, 5-step, and his feet were just all over the place. And he was just dancing back there. And I was like, oh, no, he's got happy feet already? And sure enough, the whole game, he just had happy feet. Just never really sat and commanded the pocket well. And he was too busy thinking about tucking the ball and running.
He didn't do that enough, though, I thought. I think he had one good one, and that was when Quan hit him, where he had a good scramble.
Mm-hmm. He had another one later, but it wasn't all that great. It was like 6 yards or something. But yeah, but he was just way too skittish in the pocket, and he didn't need to be, which that was the second biggest thing I wanted him to fix in the offseason. The number one thing is being able to read the damn field. He misses so many open receivers out there, just not seeing them. We'll see.
And then this game, it seemed like he was constantly overthrowing them or under. He looked like Cam Newton out there. One play, there was a guy, it might have been one of the running backs, like 5-6 yards in front of him, and he underthrew him. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, he just put it right in the dirt.
Yeah. So do you think it's coaching, scheme, Jameis?
Oh, it was definitely Jameis. Definitely Jameis.
And I really don't want to be here again next year where we're again rebuilding. Come on.
It's not any fun.
Come on.
No, it's a long season. Things will change.
I know.
If Jameis just gets calmed down.
But, I'd rather, if you listen to the last podcast, we talked about the season is divided into thirds, basically, and the teams that break off in the first third usually fall off by the second or third.
Yes.
So I'd rather be bad in the first third.
Right. If you're going to be bad, that's the time to do it. It just hurts that this was a very winnable game that we basically gave to them.
Did you know San Francisco 49ers fans also thought this was a winnable game for them? Like it was an easy win.
Well, I guess they were right.
One of us had to be right.
I didn't see a whole lot from the defensive line. Like I said, they didn't seem to get that push up the middle that I was looking for. Sue made some decent plays. Vea was pretty much absent. But like I said, they did a lot of running to the outside, a lot of quick throws to the flats, screen passes. They avoided that meet in the middle.
And that's what Rondé called it. I like that. I'm co-opting that.
Yeah, we co-opted
Create
it.
that hashtag meet in the middle. I like it. Vita had 3 tackles, 2 solo tackles. And then Sue had 4 tackles, 2 solo, and 1 TFL.
Yeah, he did pretty good. He had that third down stop. That was a big deal in the beginning of the game. His doppelganger, Gerald McCoy, didn't do anything with Carolina. The snap counts haven't come out, but watching the game, he didn't. I don't even think he played half the snaps.
And that was your prediction, 50% of the snap.
50 to 60% of the snaps, I figured, yeah, but he didn't get that much, I don't think.
He did get an offsides penalty.
Did get one of those.
And pushed out of the way, and they ran him right out his gap. Got
quite a few of those. Had a few of those where he darts through the line and goes right past the runner.
Yeah.
And does his little arm thing where he sticks it out like, oh, I tried to tackle you. Like he's playing tag or something.
I don't know that he apologized to Jared Goff, but we didn't have the volume on, so it's possible. We're only 26 minutes into the podcast, and you mentioned he who shall not be named.
He who shall not be named.
But you named him.
McCoy. So we play them Thursday night.
Oh, I'm not ready.
I'll tell you what, as bad as they played today, although Christian McCaffrey, again, their whole offense.
He is a monster.
Yeah, he was unstoppable.
I don't like that dude.
I'd like him a lot if he was on our team.
I would too. The rest of the NFL hates him. He's just a beast. He just makes people miss tackles.
Out of the 8 new coaches today, only 1 had a win. 1 is playing right now, and it's tied. That's Kingsbury with the Cardinals. It's 27-27 in overtime.
And then 1 doesn't play until tomorrow.
Right. So there's that.
We're in good company? I don't know.
We're hitting the average. We're normal.
Shaq Barrett had our only sack.
Yeah, it was a pretty one, too. Came in. We did not blitz near as much as I thought we were going to. All those disguised blitzes and stuff, we didn't do them. I'm going to have to count
the coaches film comes out when?
Don't know this year. Normally
It's different every year, right?
Yeah, they've been moving it up every year. They were getting them out Tuesday morning, sometimes Monday night around 2 a.m. But we'll see. This year they've done a few changes to the coaches film stuff, so maybe they'll get it out earlier. We'll see.
So I don't know. Are you going to have the analysis ready for the next podcast?
That's the plan.
Okay.
Have the analysis
so that'll
ready.
be our preview podcast and the analysis podcast.
Oh, that's right, because we got the game Thursday.
And then Thursday we'll do an instant reaction.
That's going to be a long podcast.
Yeah.
Got to do a game analysis and a game preview.
Yeah. We can do it.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Well, this one's kind of short, so.
Yeah, we'll make up for it Wednesday. All right, Bucs Nation.
It's depressing, but just tear in your beer.
That's right.
Just drink it out, guys. If you don't drink, eat a cheeseburger. That's my second favorite.
As long as the team doesn't implode, we're still positive. We still got a lot of opportunities here coming up. It's a long season. We didn't look like total garbage out there. The only thing that really did look like garbage would be Winston, I would say. So that's only one thing that needs to be fixed. It's not like the whole defense needs to be fixed or the whole offense. It's just one little tweak in our main character.
Seems like a big hurdle to overcome to me.
I don't even want to look at his press conference because, he's just going to be all morose. And
I do want to hear what BA has
you
to say.
Definitely want to hear BA's press conference. You're going to hear about penalties. You're going to hear about poor decision making. And he'll probably point out some things that we didn't notice.
Yeah.
Both positive and negative. That's going to wrap it up for us, guys. Until next time.
Go Bucs.
Don't be too excited about that one.
I'm sad.
It's just a game.